Are ultra-processed foods slowly killing you? Scientists are sounding the alarm that a growing number of grocery store items are ultra-processed, and that leads to health concerns. Researchers say that foods high in fats, starches, sugars, and additives now make up 73% of the U.S. food supply, even though they are linked to health issues like diabetes, obesity, depression, and cancer. According to Northeastern's Network Science Institute, scientists say that these foods should be regulated with tobacco-style warnings and advertising bans. How to tell what's ultra-processed and what isn't. Processed food is something that has been altered in some way before it lands in your grocery cart. Think canned tomatoes, cheese, or dried pasta. Ultra-processed food is something that looks very unlike anything you would have in your kitchen at home. It's had different ingredients added to it to make it more shelf-stable. Those might be preservatives, colors, or sugar. It's also gone through different processes like hydrogenation, which also help it last longer. These cocktails of additives are hyper-palatable with a desirable texture, taste, and are ready to heat and ready to eat. That's things like sodas, candy bars, or chips. Why are processed and ultra-processed foods so bad for you and potentially detrimental to your health? The problem with ultra-processed foods on a nutritional level is that the processes they go through often strip foods of their natural nutrients. For example, if I slice a potato at home and fry it to make chips, the potato's nutrient level will be far more intact than if I buy a package of chips from the grocery store. Store-bought chips have gone through so many processes and have different chemicals that make them shelf-stable and last longer, but as a result, they are lacking nutrients inside. One of the biggest issues with ultra-processed foods is the lack of fiber. When you have a good amount of fiber in your body naturally produces a hormone called GLP-1. That is the hormone weight loss drugs like Ozempic are trying to mimic. Consuming too many ultra-processed foods is going to disrupt your body's natural cycle of producing this hormone that keeps you feeling fuller for longer and makes you not want to snack as much. Many processed foods that are low in fiber can contribute to constipation, diverticulitis, and other digestive problems. Added excessive sugar is linked to increased inflammation in the body. Artificial additives like preservatives, colorings, and flavorings have been linked to allergic reactions, digestive issues, and long-term health concerns. Some processed foods undergo cooking methods that can create harmful compounds, such as acrylamide in fried foods or nitrosamines in processed meats, which are linked to cancer. Lastly, when people consume a diet high in processed foods, they often displace healthier options like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, which are essential for overall health and disease prevention. Here are some foods that we often mistake for being healthy but are actually ultra-processed. Let's start with juice. It has vitamins, antioxidants, and polyphenols, which are all good for the body. But the problem with juice is that it's been ultra-processed and lacking in fiber. Once you've juiced an orange, you are extracting the sugars and leaving the fiber, and that can then spike your blood sugar. A healthy alternative to juice is eating the whole fruit. But above all, just drink it in moderation. Another one is sports drinks like Gatorade. The idea is that after a workout, or when you're sick or just thirsty, you would drink a Gatorade because it contains electrolytes to replace the sodium and water that you've lost. The reason they are not as healthy as we think is that these drinks often contain more sugar, other sweeteners, and food coloring than anything else in the bottle. If you are not an athlete or dripping with sweat after your workout, you are better off sticking to plain water. Cold cuts like deli meats are also ultra-processed. Add them to a sandwich and you're getting a dose of protein, zinc, and iron. But what you're also getting is high saturated fats and sodium. These meats have been classified as carcinogenic. When you manufacture ultra-processed meats, they inject a chemical called nitrites or nitrates to make them last longer. Your body converts this to something called NOx, which can damage the DNA and the cells in your bowel, increasing your risk of colorectal cancer. Another food that is ultra-processed is plant-based meat replacements. Just because something is plant-based doesn't mean it's automatically healthy. They inject a lot of sodium to replicate the flavor, so often they are very high in salt. Why are companies ultra-processing products? First of all, it's cheaper. You could replace butter with something like palm oil or sugar with something like corn syrup. The other reason is that government interventions have made it really easy to make ultra-processed foods and a little harder to scale up if you're a small business or a farm. The government subsidizes corporations that produce ultra-processed foods, while private farms have to be privately run. While not all processed foods are inherently bad, many do pose significant health risks when consumed regularly as a major part of the diet. If you're looking to make healthier choices, it's a good idea to check food labels and focus on minimally processed foods with a shorter list of ingredients. Swap one ultra-processed item for each meal with a non-processed or minimally processed option. Be aware of healthy buzzwords like real fruit or real vegetables. This may be mostly sugar with a bit of fruit or vegetable on top, or if something advertises that it's all natural. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. A balanced diet that includes whole, minimally processed foods is generally recommended for optimal health, such as fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, grains, meat, and dairy. Remember, if you can't pronounce it, it's not real food. Look out for Part 2, which delves into foods that are banned in other countries yet available for consumption in the US. Let me know foods that you no longer eat and what you have replaced them with. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Wishing you all good health, wealth, and happiness.